What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a new, brand new season, a new season of Gonna See My Friends podcast where we just kind of talk about old movies, break them down for you, and kind of tell you about why we love them, how they affected us, and all the good stuff. And I hope you stick around for this. And this is gonna be a good one, as usual. Here's my co-host, Tobias Maximus, aka Toby Ballinger. How you doing, Toby?
I'm great. I am great, Steven. Good to see you. I'm excited, man. The boys are back in town. Oh man, big
Keep
time.
going. Yeah. No.
I think that's the entire lyrics of the entire
Yeah.
song, right?
Oh, that's great. I can't wait to talk about the Bus Boys,
Man, I
man.
love it.
Anyways, yeah. So brand new season, some brand new movies that we're going to be talking about, and I can't wait to get into this one. This one we're immediately going to jump into because this
Yes,
one is
sir.
kind of, for me, it wasn't the first Eddie Murphy thing that I saw. Delirious was the first thing I saw, but and then you kind of backtrack from there. But of course, we're talking about 48 Hours. Walter Hill directed, Eddie Murphy, Nick Nolte, the classic buddy cop movie. I think there might have been a couple before in the 70s that I don't know about. If anybody, audience, wants to chime in and let us know. But I think this was kind of in terms of my childhood, I think this was kind of the kickoff point for the buddy cop movie. So without this, you don't have, Lethal Weapon, you're Running Scared. We did Running Scared last season.
Yep.
So you have all these kind of types of movies that you have the old grizzled cop with the young new protege, so to speak, I guess.
Right.
And I don't know what we were talking about it a little bit before, but let the audience know, what is your relationship to this movie, Toby?
So it's old. It's an older movie for what we've done,
Yeah.
And like you said, I don't know that there's not a long. This doesn't follow in a long line of buddy. It's not really a buddy cop movie because Eddie Murphy's character is not a cop, but you get it falls into that genre where you have the two people that are from two different worlds and they got to meet up and they got to solve the crime. And so in 1982, it comes out in December of 1982. This is like a Christmas release. So they had big hopes for this movie. They thought, boy, oh yeah, we're banging on all cylinders with this one. So I'm just turned 10. So obviously didn't see it in the theater, but it's popularity in the zeitgeist of listening to my folks and their friends when they're sitting around chatting. They're quoting the movie. They've obviously gone out and seen it. So it's always been kind of there for me. And then once it hits HBO in the later 80s and as Eddie Murphy's popularity explodes, then it's kind of always, it's an omnipresent movie when it comes to this. I mean, this is a genre defining movie for this. And like you said, we did the kind of bookend of that was Running Scared last year, where you kind of saw we might be done with this genre at this point because the whole 80s were just nothing but this type of movie. So
Yeah, exactly.
it made a lot of money, so they're going to make them.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, I think my first experience with Eddie Murphy was Delirious, which was at the time, I think I was probably 9 or 10 years old when I saw that. And again,
You saw it with your uncle. He took you to go see it.
no, actually, again, the infamous Stepdad cassette tapes with the 3 movies on them.
Okay. Yep.
This was a part of that library. And just Delirious just blew me away. Like, I was into comedy. I think Robin Williams got me into comedy. So I was watching a bunch of his stuff. And then Eddie Murphy came along, and I used to watch Delirious at least once a day in those years. I mean, I got to the point where I would memorize
Yeah.
the whole routine and
Whole
go to
routine.
school.
Yep.
Go to school, and just everybody thought like I was the funniest guy. There was a few, maybe 1 or 2 friends of mine that knew what I was talking about and
Okay.
would quote it with me. But it was just things that you just, as a kid, there's these steps that you take into adulthood. And, this was a step for me insofar as that it showed me how adults talk. Like, I never knew what any of that stuff really meant, but I just knew that this is what adults laugh at and talk about. And so when I would do the Mr. T, bit from
Right.
Delirious, I was just repeating what I heard, but I didn't necessarily know about, gay people or anything in that nature. So I think for me, like, the first the first step into this world that of Eddie Murphy was Delirious, but then it was Beverly Hills Cop, and then I went back and saw this movie. I think this is like the third or fourth movie I saw of him. I didn't really see Trading Places until I was much older, and didn't realize that was, because there was this kind of disconnect, especially when you're in the heart of the 80s, like VHS boom, that there's just all these movies that you need to watch or want to watch. And for
Oh
me, I
yeah.
was trying to just going, I just, oh, that looks good, And so 48 Hours was one of those ones where I saw it relatively young as well. And it still kind of sticks with me because of that, because I remember the violence in this movie
Mm-hmm.
really shocked me and really scared me, especially the opening shootout at the hotel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that was pretty gruesome, and and for a kid but like when you're a feral child like I was, not being, looked after, in certain areas of your life, you just would be traumatized by this kind of stuff. But you would a year later, 6 months later, you'd rent it again, or I'd rent it again and watch it and just be like, oh, this is so good though. It's so funny. What did that have any effect on you? Like you said you saw it, did you see it on cable or did you see VHS or?
Right. It was probably I think probably the last time I saw it must have been sometime in the 90s when you have HBO. It's probably running on HBO in like the early 90s. You and your roommate are all, oh, cool, 48 hours. And you put the remote down. And I believe that's probably the last time that I even like sought it out. It's just always been one where I'm like, got it, know it. So watching it again this week was like watching it again, all over again for the first time.
That's so cool,
to
man.
quote Yogi Berra, and this was the time when I was shocked about how much violence is in it, because back then I just assumed that this was movies. Movies were violent. And I think we kind of took it as kind of a given. I don't think it really bothered anybody that much because everybody thinks of this movie as a comedy. It's really not a comedy until about 30 minutes into the movie. The first part of the movie is horrendously racist and bloody, and murders are going on, misogyny. I mean, it's a lot. And I was like, I don't remember it being like, I mean, the jailbreak is just, I mean, there's like 10 people dead in the first 10 minutes of this movie. And I was like, okay. I mean, I just remember it always being, Roxanne, you don't have to. And that's kind of where my memory of the movie starts. But it was kind of wild watching it again because I'm like I said, I think everyone just didn't really bat an eye at a lot of the violence in 1982. And then now watching it again, it really was. I was like, holy dude, there's a lot. Oh my God, this is a lot. Anyway.
Well, I feel like, you bring up a great point because I think a lot of this movie, because it's set such in the early 80s that a lot of this has a 70s feel to it.
Totally.
And in the
right.
70s, you had a lot of violent films, and the violence, it was violent, but it wasn't really, I mean, realistic in the sense of how death is portrayed in these things. I mean, that's how I talk about violence. Yeah, because I think it was very violent, but the way that, the squibs, the blood looked, I mean,
the practical effects.
Yeah.
Yes,
so the blood would always look like, some jelly or something, or it would just look like paint. But it was violent. I'm not saying it wasn't violent, but it was just the portrayal of what I think for me. I feel like for me that has a little bit of this. And Walter Hill too we did The Warriors last season as well, and I think that he really, in order to inhabit these worlds, you really need to kind of portray how it really is, and I think that's why I love Walter Hill. I mean, he does another Nick Nolte movie, Extreme Prejudice, in the late 80s.
Right.
And he has this ode to the Wild Bunch at the end of that movie. And the Wild Bunch was really violent. I own that movie. And the violence in that is, oh my goodness, it's like, it's just brutal. And so Walter Hill always brought that to whatever movie he was in, because he really just kind of told stories about these people in these situations. And when you're talking about, a gang that kills people or holds up drug dealers, and you can't really just be kind of benign on the whole violent aspect of that. So he really kind of puts you into this world, and I think the violence really shows, especially in this one, and especially coming out of the 70s. it was really kind of I just feel like it really had the same vibe of all those, like Sharky's Machine, and even though that was early '80s, I think that was '80 or '81 with Burt Reynolds. But you have all these like instances where you got to get violent, and that was, and to me, like what you were saying, the movie up until we introduce Eddie Murphy, it's basically just a crime thriller, or a crime, and we need to, like you said, we need to find the guys, we need to catch them, and so I think this was the beginning of a really cool kind of way of making those cop buddy cop, even though he's not a cop, but yeah, that kind of partnership of the two extremes. So
Right.
I don't know. I love it. I think it just has that grit to it. It has really that grit, and that's what I appreciate about it.
Nice.
So
You know what I appreciate, and I wasn't, because my introduction to Eddie Murphy is on Saturday Night Live
Oh yeah.
with Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood and Gumby.
Yeah.
And James Brown, Celebrity Hot Tub, and the guy can do no wrong in my book, right? And
Velvet Jones.
He is 20 years old. First of all, he's 20 years, and people, I don't know if people know this, but Eddie Murphy was the biggest stand-up comedian on earth when he was 17 years old. He was selling out arenas, 17, 18. That's why we have Delirious. I think he's either 19 or 20 when he records Delirious. Raw, he's like 23 or 24. But this is his first of all of his movies that he's done, and he's probably done over 100 of them at this time. You can think of 40 right off the top of your head. This is his first movie credit. And for somebody to come on who really isn't he didn't go to acting school or anything like that. He's just got it. He comes on and steals the show, because Nick Nolte is an award-winning actor in 82, stage, screen. He's acting with Barbra Streisand. I mean, come on. And he's no slouch.
Right.
And to pair Eddie Murphy up for his very first, he's second billed, and it becomes an absolute blockbuster. And if you hadn't been watching Saturday Night Live up to that point, people started watching Saturday Night Live. And going, I mean, who is this guy?
Well, yeah, a lot of people I've read saying that he saved that era of Saturday Night Live.
Right.
Up until 84, 85 when he left. But yeah, he was, in fact, when this movie came out, Nick Nolte was supposed to host. And at the last minute, he canceled because he was either too drunk or he was strung out or whatever it was.
Okay.
So Eddie Murphy had to be the host. And so he introduces the show live from New York. It's the Eddie Murphy Show. And and then it kind of takes off from there. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Eddie Murphy was, he was kind of like the Michael Jackson of the entertainment industry, because he was just everywhere.
Yes.
And I think it was this and then Trading Places. And then along with Saturday Night Live, he was doing both for a while there. And it just seems like this was, man, I don't even know what to say that hasn't already been said, but it's just this idea that this guy who comes out of the comedy scene, and I mean, that introduction scene in this movie, 48 Hours, I mean, that's just, what a way to introduce a character. I mean, the charisma that he has to even when he's in a scene with Nick Nolte or whoever he's in a scene with, he could just not be doing anything. He's still holding his own because he's such a presence on screen. And I don't know. I mean, I just think that he was kind of the linchpin to kind of shoot off this kind of this, comedy kind of mixing in, which I think, for 48 Hours, like you said, it's this crime thriller, but then also when he's in the scene, it's just, I don't know, dude. It's just funny. It's magic. It's like, it fits. This whole movie is really tight, so there's not a lot of fat on this movie.
No, there's not. There's one part where it's okay. Title of the movie, 48 Hours. There's a good section of this where they keep trying to catch Gans, and then I think it's in the morning, and we can get into the scenes, but at one point there is a time jump of like 12 hours. So it's really 36 hours is the movie, or whatever. That's, my math's probably not right. But I'm like, all of a sudden now they're at the nightclub that night. I'm like, the whole middle of the day is gone. I must have, because they got to sleep at some point. So I guess maybe they went and took a nap somewhere. I don't know. But literally, there is this huge chunk of time on the second day that's just not in the movie.
Well, that's what I was thinking about when I watched it this last week. I was like, okay, what day does this start?
Yeah, right,
And
right.
where, because it's Monday and then he brings them back. And so the idea
It's a
is,
weekend,
okay,
right?
yeah.
You just
So,
get some.
so does he get them on Friday night or does he get them
Yeah.
Saturday morning?
Yeah, it's
who
unclear.
knows? Who knows? But
It's
yeah, I was,
really, there's no time to waste, dude. We don't have time to nitpick on what day of the week
and
it
I
is.
want Gans as much as you. Kate's.
Oh man.
And that scene too, when he first meets Eddie Murphy and he leaves, Nick Nolte leaves. So the theatrical version obviously has Kate's, fuck you, or
Right.
whatever, that thing. And then on the TV versions, forget you.
Of course. The edits that we used to get when it would be put on regular television, like antenna television for the 8 o'clock movie, the creativity that they had to get into. Now it's just silenced out. It's not beeped out.
Right.
They're not dubbing, some other voice comes in with it's because it's so throws you off. It's really disjointed when they do that. And now I think people have kind of got wise to that, and it'll just to you. And you're all, that's so much more effective than beeping anything out.
And
so
you know
well
what?
done on, I don't know why it took 30 years for us to figure that out. Like, yeah. I mean, I get it. I'm in the doghouse with you. Look at that. It's so effective.
Absolutely, man.
That was horrible what you just said, by the way. I can't believe you.
Hey, I got soap here. I'll wash my mouth out later.
You better.
But let's see here. And,
let's talk about, can we just mention also, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Nick Nolte, Eddie Murphy, and Annette O'Toole. Yeah. Annette O'Toole, phenomenal. And then it didn't Gans, and he looks in this movie, I didn't realize this is James Remar. I'm like, and you guys did Welcome to Derry. He's the colonel, and he's so good. And I'm like, this is the one where you recognize him in everything. He's almost unrecognizable as this Gans character. Your thoughts?
There's.
He's terrifying.
Yeah, and he's from the whole idea of his character is like he's just crazy, He's
crazy.
I think
he's a psychopath.
Yeah, like he just likes to,
He's cop killer. He's killed. Yeah. I mean, it's just they're not going to be taken alive for sure.
Right. And there's 4 people in this movie that were in the Warriors. Can you name all 4 of these?
Oh, I didn't realize it's 4, but David Patrick Kelly, who plays Luther, plays Luther in the Warriors. So I'm like, and then I had to go back and watch the Warriors again. I'm like, wait a minute, Luther lives at the end of the Warriors. Mm-hmm. Is this the same Luther? Just now he's relocated to San Francisco and he's run into even harder times. He learned nothing from the Warriors, but and I'm like, no, he does live. He lives at the end of the Warriors. This could be Luther 4 or 5 years later. Let's see who else is in it. Sonny Landham is in it. He was a police officer, and then Jonathan Banks wasn't in the Warriors. No. Who am I missing? There's 2 more. I didn't realize it was 4.
Well, James Remar. We just talked about James Remar.
Oh God, of course.
Yeah. And then the attendant in 48 Hours when Luther goes to get the car and he's like, "Hey, get this, whatever. It's been here 3 years."
Oh, nice.
Like, I've been busy. Well, the attendant is one of the gang in the Warriors too. So.
Well, the Warriors is great. It's one of those 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon kind of things because the cast is so massive in the Warriors that I mean you can see a lot of that crossover. But yeah, when I saw David, I like David Patrick Kelly. I liked him when he was in the Warriors. I forgot that he was in the Warriors until we covered that one. I'm like, you know what? My introduction to him is from Dreamscape. I loved that movie Dreamscape, and he was the heavy in Dreamscape that turned into a snake at the end.
Dude, we got to do that. I love that movie too. Yeah. We got to do that movie.
Okay. Write it down.
So,
everybody, put in the comments your favorite Dreamscape scene. People are like, what's Dreamscape? No, dude, Dreamscape.
That flew under the radar because I didn't know about that movie until probably the late 80s. I didn't, there's a bunch of movies that's happened to me about, but Dreamscape was one that maybe not even the 80s, probably the early 90s or mid 90s.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing it all the time at the video store.
Yes.
but never renting it because
Okay.
I can't remember. But and then finally watching it and go, why did I wait so long to watch
Right.
this? This is a great movie, you
It's
know?
crazy, right? It's like they made Dreamscape and like Dreamscape walked so Inception could run. Right? I mean, it's kind of the
Yeah.
same idea, but just kicked up to like 9 notches. We're going to go 6 layers deep in Inception, right?
Yeah.
And Christopher Nolan, we should at some point do a Christopher Nolan movie before I explode and do a million
Oh, yeah.
pieces.
Yeah.
Just how much thought he puts into everything. But I think Dreamscape, once people, when the cult following that it got much later, I think it inspired Flatliners,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is like, we're gonna do Dreamscape, but we're actually gonna you're gonna die for like
Yeah.
5 minutes, and then
Yeah.
we're gonna bring you back. You tell us what you saw.
Um,
Anyway, moving.
yeah. No, no, no. That I was just thinking about another movie before we get back on track here. I wanted to say sometimes it's the opposite effect of that too, where for Dreamscape, I held out watching it and then watched it and like, oh, this was a great movie. I should have watched this. Whereas the other part of that is the movie, what's the movie Tom Selleck and Cynthia Rhodes, Runaway. You ever see that movie Runaway?
Mm,
Tom Selleck.
mm.
It's so again, my stepdad's library with the three movies had this movie on there, and I guess I watched it right around the time it came out on video cassette, which was I want to say probably 84 to 86 in that area or in that timeline. This is a great movie, and
Mhm.
it just never picked up. I don't rarely hear anybody talk about it. It's a great movie. It's one of those movies that are set in the near future, so it's like
Right.
it's not the cars are normal, but then they have all these robotics and
Mhm.
doing the cornfields and nannying babies and all this kind of stuff. So you should check it out. Anyways,
Yeah.
let's get back on track
Kind of
here.
Jetsons-y kind of
Yeah,
feature
it's
almost.
kind of it has all the like the robots are they're constructing the building, so
Right.
there's no more whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Good.
let's get back to 48 hours here. You got some deets or you got some tails or what? Do you have
Yeah,
anything?
some tales. Just we talked about a little bit about the cast and Sonny Landham,
Yeah.
who was in the Warriors, right? And he was what I recognized him from was he played Billy in
Yeah.
Predator,
Hmm.
in the first
Well, he plays
Predator,
Billy here too.
and
That's
he's
such a
Billy
weird name.
here.
Yeah.
He's Billy Bear here. So there's a lot of we're listen. There's only 7 names in the world, so we're kind of scrape. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
um, let's see, Luther. And what's your character's name? Just make it Luther. I mean, I'm going to legally change my name to Luther at this point. Jonathan Banks, who would go on 3 years later and be a match to play
Eddie
with Eddie
Murphy.
Murphy
Yeah.
again in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
The great Jonathan Banks, who when we did Gremlins was my Clay Thompson Award
That's
winner.
right. That is
Spoiler
right.
alert, he's not my Clay Thompson Award winner for this movie. But as much as I want to give it to him in every movie, the great Jonathan Banks. But great to see Jonathan Banks. And that's where we kind of start the movie. We get the jailbreak, and
Yeah.
which looks like it's in the middle of, they're in like Oklahoma, but it's like outside of,
Like Altamont or something. It looks
right.
like.
It's out there in the middle of,
Yeah.
nowhere. And then here's one of the things about that, as we get into the next section here of our convo, there are movies that are set in San Francisco, and being Bay Area guys ourselves, and you having lived in San Francisco, the relationship with San Francisco is when a movie is set in San Francisco, it kind of holds a different place for me it's like I think of movies as, oh, that's a San Francisco movie.
Right.
I had forgotten that 48 Hours is a San Francisco movie because it could really be set anywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be San Francisco. A lot of people choose San Francisco for the unique qualities and the filming opportunities that you get when you film in San Francisco. Walter Hill decided to take a different route and did not use San Francisco as really the backdrop and make it kind of its own character in this movie. He used it for external shots, the Richmond San Rafael Bridge, and really I'm like, why set it in San Francisco? And I think it's because of San Quentin, because we're getting Cates is getting Reggie out of San Quentin, and that shot is a great shot of the Richmond San Rafael Bridge, and pans over, and there's San Quentin. Now I drive this bridge twice a week and drive by San Quentin twice a week as it is.
Yeah.
And it never ceases to amaze me. That view is incredible. And then you see as you're coming, the westbound section takes you, you're on the upper deck, and you get that great view of all of that, not Sausalito,
Tiburon.
Larkspur, Tiburon,
Larkspur.
that
Yeah.
whole area there with the ferries coming in. And it's one of the most beautiful places on earth. And you put a maximum security prison. It's not maximum security anymore, but
Oh,
that
it's
used to
not?
be
Oh.
where, yeah, that's where the electric chair is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it looks like as soon as they built it, it was already haunted. I mean, it's got this kind of, it's a depressing feel. You're supposed to feel like you're in trouble when they
Yeah.
send you here.
Yeah.
So so Reggie's in jail for 3 years, serving 3 years, 2.5 years on a 3-year armed robbery sentence. And if Eddie Murphy's 21 in this movie, that means this crime he committed was 18, and they sent him to the worst prison on earth in 1982. Which is kind of sucks. And he's sitting in a barber chair with his sunglasses on,
Yeah.
listening to the police. He's listening to the police, and then the police walk in. I was like, okay. Didn't have to hit me in the face with it, but Roxanne.
Well, that's, I think, and it's really not the nicest parts of San Francisco
That's
it's
right.
shown. It's really not the underbelly, but it's
the underbelly. You're right.
Well, yeah. I mean, and it really kind of highlights this lifestyle that these people live. I mean, as a cop, Jack Cates, hell, Reggie.
yeah, he's just always hungover.
Don't wake me before 10. But yeah, I mean, these, I feel like the long lost brother of Jack Cates is Vincent Hanna from Heat, because they're out there, they're looking, they're searching, they're trying to solve this. They get these little leads, and then they go check it out. Anyways, I have that same feeling about that. So, it's really kind of streets that normally don't get photographed, and
yeah.
They even have the Bay Bridge in there, the opening shot where Cates is leaving his girlfriend's house, and he drives down that hill.
It's from the Tenderloin down. Yeah. It's not California Street, because California Street has the cable car. Right. It's a California line that'll take you down. And that's kind of more of the iconic shot of the tower of the Bay Bridge. This is a little bit more offset. So it's a couple streets over from that.
Yeah, I feel like it's in Russian Hill, yeah.
It's going down into the Tenderloin and then into the financial district.
Is that what it is? Because you see the Bay Bridge.
Yeah.
Like behind when he's
it's
driving
Russian
down
Hill,
the hill,
turning down to go into the Tenderloin.
The Tenderloin.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Because I would think
they
it would go down into.
They filmed it. Most of the movies filmed in Los Angeles, about 90% of it. Yeah. So you have the exterior shots. You got when they're driving around with the they're in a convertible and they're driving around in San Francisco, and the shots that the cinematographer Rick Waite, who did Footloose, Red Dawn, The Great Outdoors,
nice.
and Brewster's Millions, has worked with Walter Hill quite a bit. The choices that he makes to make San Francisco look crappy are great, because it doesn't look crappy. Right. It's hard to make San Francisco look crappy. And he does a wonderful job on this, because there's a scene where they're right in their first matched up. Reggie's got his new suit on, and they show them driving through the big intersections, and you see all the electric Muni bus lines. They're shooting through a million lines.
Yeah,
that's all just in the shot.
Yeah,
and I'm like, he's doing this to not make it look like, because otherwise it's a gorgeous town. They make sure that the sun didn't come out that day. It's not hard to do. The sun rarely comes out in San Francisco, but the sun pokes through, you're going to see that it's a beautiful town, even in 82. So the grimy parts, like the bar scenes, all the interior shots, all of it, almost everything. Chinatown's actually Chinatown in Los Angeles. Almost all of it is shot in LA, but those exterior shots that you have to kind of establish at San Francisco.
Yeah.
Them driving around, the car chase, things like that. You get the Muni buses, and they're not going to bring the Muni buses to Los Angeles, as far as I know. That subway station that they have the shootout in.
It's in the Castro.
You've been to this? I don't remember.
I don't know if the interior of it is the Castro one.
I think it is. I think they said Muni station.
But I know that when they go the steps to go down is right on, it's Castro and Market right there.
Okay.
Or maybe it's a block up, sorry, because there's that, if you go down the steps, but if you keep walking straight, you'll run into that Safeway that's in the Castro.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I've seen a bunch of those. Like I can't find where Torchies is though. I don't know
Torchies
where.
is in L.A.
Oh, is that where it
Yeah.
was?
So
Okay.
Torchies is in LA. I was like, first of all, yeah, okay. So can we let's talk about a few of our favorite scenes. Torchies is
Yes.
obviously up there, right? And Torchies, I was like, they walk into basically they're a Confederate bar. Oh my god, right? I'm like, this was they just they just walked through the door to Torchies into the town of Jim Crow, Alabama. And holy shit, there's you couldn't put another Confederate flag on the walls. It's on the floor. It's on the country bands up there
Yeah.
singing about God. I don't know. I just want to catch a fish. I don't know. Um, what do you and Eddie Murphy takes over, right?
Uh-huh.
And I want the rest of you cowboys to know something. There's a new sheriff in town.
His name was Randy Hammond. Yeah, I mean that scene. I think we could just. So for me, I was saying before we started rolling here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like there's two kind of dynamic shifts in this movie, or the dynamic
Yeah,
changes in the
yeah.
movie.
Talk about those shifts.
And
What was the second one?
well, the first one is introduction of Eddie Murphy. The second
In the
one
jail
is
that's supposed to be in
yeah.
San Quentin, also filmed at a jail in Los Angeles.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, that's not the
And
inside of San Quentin.
but then he goes to Torchies, and I feel like that just kind of shoots this movie into kind of the upper atmosphere because I, the introduction to that scene itself too is really cool when he's telling Nick Nolte, he's like, well, you say that bullshit and experience carries you a long way. Well, get ready for some of my bullshit or whatever. Come see you. And they walk in and it's a total redneck hick bar. And, that scene, I feel like for years, I just thought that was just normally Eddie Murphy. But I didn't realize in the context of when the movie came out, 82, that this was like something that was never seen before. And the idea that there was this one guy who just dominates the scene. And now that I look back on it, I'm like, of course, because I don't think you see that, especially coming out of the 70s, where a lot of it was this kind of like whitewashed, like corporate, not corporate, but just kind of the hero is always the white dude, or something. And, to have somebody like Eddie Murphy come in and dominate the scene and kind of just take over everything. I mean, he has some great lines in the scene.
Yes,
too,
he sure does.
You're loaded. Where'd you get all this money? He's a tax refund. Bullshit. Too stupid to have a job. Just things like that. And Nick Nolte, some of us citizens are behind you all the way, officer.
Nolte's character completely changes, right? He's like, I don't know whose idea it was to free somebody who's got 6 months left on his sentence, whose idea it was and thought it was a good idea to get somebody who used to run with that gang to get Gans, but we got to solve this crime because there's a bunch of cops that are dead now. The chain gang cops are dead. Jonathan Banks and the other guy, the babyface guy, they're both dead. And everybody's pissed at Nick Nolte's character because he didn't, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And he brings Reggie in there. Reggie takes over, disarms a guy, takes a switchblade from him, and his look on his face is all,
yeah,
okay, Reggie. Total respect. Total respect for him.
You forgot his buddy in the gang, Henry Wong. He's looked better, with the bullet hole right in the middle of the head.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of thing just really kind of propels this movie forward in a way that's so. I mean, you don't really even see scenes like that anymore. I mean, I think now it's kind of probably be called woke or some bullshit like that, but I think it's just it kind of, especially with the amount of racism in this movie.
Yeah,
I think that is the kind of counterbalance to a lot of things. Not that they need it, because obviously poo-poo racism, but I mean, it's this idea that, like, regardless or despite all that kind of heinous kind of stuff that Nick Nolte is saying and everybody else is saying, even the cop chief or whatever.
Yeah, the chief. Yeah,
that's right. I called him that. You ain't convict.
Convict. Yeah, they used convict as a very, and that was a theme throughout those movies as well. Because when Nick Nolte it plays a convict in, I just had it. I was talking about it the other day. I love it so much. Three Fugitives,
Oh, I haven't seen that. Yeah, I haven't seen that in years.
where he's the convict. He says it like the convict. That same kind of cadence. They used
Yeah.
convict as very much as pejorative. I
Yeah,
mean, this is,
yeah.
they may as well be calling you, MFer.
Yeah.
You're just, ooh, you gotcha. That's a sick burn. Well,
Yeah.
that's what he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he is but whoever's idea it was to pair them up and get this guy out, because so many things could have gone wrong. I mean, Eddie could have just, or Reggie could have just bounced. He gets his handcuffed to the steering wheel at one point, and then he catches Vincent there.
Yeah.
That door does a lot of the heavy lifting for these fight scenes, right? He uses that door
Luther. Luther. Yeah.
Luther,
yeah.
excuse me. Who did I say? Vincent.
Vincent. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Luther, excuse me. So Luther gets taken out by the door, and then Kate's is like, he's got his gun on him.
Yeah, because he's holding
Drop
like
it, right? He's thinking, right? We just,
Reggie.
yeah,
Drop the
gun. Yeah.
Don't
So
point your gun at me, man.
the second time there's a shift, is there a second one that comes later that you're thinking of, or is it the getting him out of jail and then the
introduction?
Scene? Okay,
Yeah, and the torchy scene. I think those kind of propelled. I mean, like you said, I think once Eddie Murphy is introduced, this movie takes a different. It kind of zags a little bit because you're thinking that, oh, this is going to be. I don't know if you've ever seen Sharky's Machine, but that there's with Burt Reynolds. I think it came out in 80, 81, somewhere around there. But it's really violent too. But Burt Reynolds manages to kind of inject a little comedy in certain scenes, not a lot because he wasn't really so much of a comedian, but and I think that Eddie Murphy does this, but he does this he does it so much you would think, oh, it has to be a comedy, because even the trailer to this movie I was watching, and they highlight the idea that Eddie Murphy's this wisecracking, and he is a wisecracking person, but it never dominates the scene, and it never really takes off as like, I'm going to take over and it's going to be a comedy now. He's really good, and this is one of his gifts, is that he's really good at kind of determining how much to, in terms of character, how much to inject comedy into it, as opposed to just being a comedian and going off of your act or doing bits or anything. Nothing in this movie he does is like a bit, And so I think that that's really it heightens the darker parts of this movie, which they don't make that kind of movie anymore. And
right.
I was always such a big fan of Eddie Murphy when he did Metro in the late 90s, also in San Francisco. I was hoping it would be this kind of return to form in terms of like mixing that comedy with a like a thriller type of thing. And so I don't know. I mean, and it didn't really quite reach that because he had Michael Rappaport in there and he was good, but it just needed, I think, because in Metro, Eddie Murphy was doing more of the Nick Nolte. He was the older cop and kind of disillusioned kind of stuff. I think he just plays better when he's kind of, I don't know, kind of a little more like he is in this movie. So,
okay. Yeah. Well, it's interesting also that there wasn't much of a screenplay for them. That most of their dialogue between Cates and Reggie is all improvised by the two actors.
Yeah.
And what you mentioned, that the things that Eddie's plays this character, he could have gone silly with it. He could have gone like in Beverly Hills Cop. He kind of does a Fletch thing where he becomes a different character. Like when he goes to see Victor Maitland at the club.
Yeah.
And just immediately goes into the character of, the things are going to start falling off the man, and he becomes so over the top.
Yeah.
Or, he chooses not to do this. And I think that he couldn't have played it better. They told him later after the film was in the can that he almost got fired because he wasn't funnier.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm a guy that's been in prison 2.5 years. He's really got nothing to lose. Whether they catch the guy or not, he's going back to San Quentin in 48 hours. So who cares? He tries to get laid.
That's
One thing in the 48 hours is at some point I'm getting laid.
Yeah.
That's what he said. That's basically all he really requires.
Well, I think that's, again, and talking about the comedy aspect of this movie, it's always, I think if Nick Nolte wasn't the type of actor he was, or the direction of just let Eddie go, it wouldn't have worked, because I think what stops it from being silly is this idea that when Eddie Murphy says something to him, like Kate's plays it realistically and is just like, oh, I could tell this is gonna be a long fucking night, you know? And or just when he gets into like Roxanne,
Hmm.
that part, it's like, so what do you want, cop or whatever?
Right.
It's immediately here's the funny part, but then here's the reality of the situation. It plays in the reality really well, and so that's why it doesn't get silly.
Hmm.
And when he does it in Beverly Hills Cop, I feel like that was the intention, is to be that big, because
Yes.
he does have all these skills. He's a cop, but he's a cop from the streets, so he learns how to adapt and how to, well, all this kind of stuff. Now, to your point, he was almost fired from this. Yeah, they wanted the first 2 weeks of filming, like they wanted to get rid of him, but they had Richard Pryor in mind as a cast him, and Pryor ended up having that accident where he burned himself, and so
Yes.
they would. But can you imagine Richard Pryor in this movie? I mean,
Well, I
what kind
don't
of
know
movie
that
would
we
that
would
be?
know of Eddie Murphy today if it weren't for
Yeah,
this movie. I really don't, to be
yeah,
honest with you. This is the one where people were like, let's see if this works. This is a huge risk. I mean, it was a it's it was they shot it for $12 million, so it's not like this was the whole 20th Century Fox is hanging by a thread and this better work or not. But when it comes back and makes almost 80 million, they're like, okay. And
yeah,
everybody took note of that, and everyone's like, put Eddie Murphy in a movie. Holy crap. I mean, they did that with Best Defense, where Eddie Murphy's
oh
not
yeah,
in Best Defense, but then the target or they showed it to a bunch of audience members and they hated it, and they're like, it's missing something. So they went back and shot a couple of scenes with Eddie Murphy, spliced it into the movie, put him on the poster, and it was a hit.
yeah,
That's all.
yeah,
That's the power he had.
yeah. Well, I think the Eddie Murphy effect. I mean, this dude, going back to when we were talking about him, this dude was the biggest thing on the planet. It seemed like,
And to answer
and
your question,
yeah,
if Richard Pryor were in it, it would have worked fine.
yeah.
Richard Pryor
You
would have
think
brought a
so?
whole nother. Oh, absolutely.
I think it would have been a different movie. That's what I think. I think it would have worked, probably, knowing the star power of Richard Pryor. But at the time, Richard Pryor was just a comedian as well, and so they had no kind of context as to which, is he going to work in a film? And I think, yeah, I think it would have been different because
It
he
would have
has
been different, but it
more.
would have been funny, and Richard would have made it work, and he would have probably played something along the lines of the character that he played in like The Toy, maybe,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
he's really got nothing to lose. Just F it. Let's go. I've
yeah,
got
yeah,
48 hours. I'm getting out. I've been in San Quentin I mean, his character's older. He's an older actor,
yeah,
or he's an older,
yeah,
so I probably would have made it him out of the sentence wouldn't have been 3 years because Reggie can't have been. He's not 6 months away from serving a 10-year sentence. The guy's almost a teenager as it is
yeah,
now. He
yeah,
barely turned 21. So, but Richard his character would have been serving a 7-year sentence,
yeah,
and he's just really excited to get out.
yeah. Um, for those of you who have never seen this movie,
Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of glide over the plot and kind of give you some pointers just to the people that don't know. Really quick, let's see. Nick Nolte plays a really kind of burnt out, alcoholic kind of cop, drinks, smokes. He's not very present. Again, probably a cousin of Vincent Hanna from Heat, in the sense of he's not around a lot. He's really into his job. His relationships are suffering. His relationship with his girlfriend is not very, it's kind of hit or miss. She wants more. She wants his attention. He's, into this, whatever. Anyways, this convict, what's his name? Gans.
Gans. Yep.
Gets out of they. You take this, dude. I can't speak
Okay,
for
yeah.
saying this.
So Gans is working on their. It's like a chain gang situation where
There you go.
they're working on railroad tracks. They're either laying track or maintaining the railroad track out in the middle of some field, and there's 12 people out there. There's the cops with the shotguns, and this huge Native American comes with a truck.
Billy Bear.
And Billy Bear, we don't find his name. We don't find out his
Right.
name until about halfway through the movie. But they're calling him like Tonto and all this stuff. And he picks a fight with Gans, and it causes a distraction. It turns out they're in cahoots with one another. They disarm one of the cops, blow all these cops away with shotguns, and escape. Billy Bear and Gans escape and leave like half a dozen people dead on the
Yeah.
chain. All the prisoners escape. Gans takes off. Gans goes to San Francisco. Gans and Billy Bear go to San Francisco because there's a big bag of money
Mhm.
that I did it again.
Luther.
This gang, they'd stolen this money from drug dealers, I believe and
Yes.
Eddie Murphy's character is in prison for something unrelated to that, I believe. Or maybe it is. It's not the
No,
money.
it's
He's got the money in the car that he's kept in storage, and it's
right.
an unrelated thing.
Yeah, I think what had happened is someone turned. I think they made the robbery, and then they Gans turned against him and turned him in, and that's because he goes, a member of my gang, we did this, and then turned around and dropped a dime on me, and that's why I'm in here.
Okay.
And so it's the same guy that's running around killing people with a cop's gun, that. So
Right.
yeah, so so Kate's, well, they lift a credit card. It gets traced to a hotel, and they go to the cops. Jonathan Banks and the other guy, cop, go to the hotel, and they confront him. They end up getting killed. Kate's sees that. Now he's in charge of the investigation. He knows that part of the gang that these guys run in is still in prison. He goes to talk to, which is Eddie Murphy, goes to talk to Eddie Murphy. They go out. They have 48 hours to find Gans before Eddie Murphy has to go back into the slammer. So chaos ensues, and so it's
that's
just
your
really
motivation.
cool.
Yeah. And Kate's is hoping that Reggie can, because the two partners that Kate's was with, Jonathan Banks and Babyface, the three cops go in there. Two of the cops end up getting killed. And Kate's feels guilty about that. He's got to solve this crime anyway.
Yeah.
He can, or else he's probably going to lose his job, and, we can talk about that police, that 3-minute long police scene when he goes back to when
Kate's,
it's a oneer. It's incredible. You don't really, it doesn't hit you over the head with it, but it's a 3-minute long. It's a oneer. And a lot happens in that. And this is before we even meet Reggie.
Yeah.
But can we talk about, because that was part of one of the we were going to say a couple of the nonchalantness of this police station. It walks in and it's like the quintessential 1970s 1980s police station, which as a kid you're thinking every police station is just chaos. Phones are ringing.
Yeah.
Nobody likes anybody else in the room.
Kate. Yeah.
People are screaming at each other.
Carries.
Yeah. And two of these people's partners are dead 20 minutes ago. And these guys, they're not in any kind of mourning. It's not a somber feeling in this. Cage walks in and everybody's just all, way to fuck it up. You're a guy hell. And then he's all, get off my back. And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is insane. This scene is literally insane. Because it's like, dude, like nobody's been like, they didn't mention these guys' names. They're not wearing like black armbands or, this would be like, you need a press conference. 2 cops are dead for crying out loud. And like, it's just like another day. Everyone's just pissed off at Kate's and Kehoe's mad. And the captain's going to take his piece and shield. And it's got everything you want and just madness.
Dude. And it really kind of gets you into that. Again, it gets you into the world of, like you said, a cop just died. So 2 cops.
Murdered.
So there's this urgency in that scene. We got to find everybody. You got the autopsy people. You have forensics in there, and you have the hookers that were in the hotel that they ordered before the shootout. And you have all this stuff happening. You have the angry captain. Gates, I want to see you in my office in 5 minutes. Right. You hear me, Gates? Yeah. Your voice carries. It's all this stuff, and I feel like as an actor, if you were in that scene, you would eat that shit up, because I feel like it's such an inroads into kind of what the movie's going to be about, but also the chaos that it probably isn't as real as probably a real cop after a couple cops die, but it's that intensity that kind of tells you like, oh, okay, this is going to be like a solve 'em, Book 'em Dano type of movie, and then it goes into Eddie Murphy, and then it just takes another turn, and that's such a great scene though. I'm glad you pointed that out because that was such a great scene. I love that scene too. So
it's just it's all one shot. They're walking back and forth across the scene. People are moving.
in front of the camera,
in front of
and
the
walk. Yeah,
camera. There's so many things could go wrong, and it's just really, really well done. And so well done by Walter Hill and Rick Waite to
yeah,
shoot that the way they did, because you feel like you're in it, and you think I'm like, this must be what police stations are look. It's just desks,
yeah.
shit's piled up on everybody's desk. There's stuff on the cork board that they're going over, and he connected the two
Oh
by
yeah.
looking. Oh, hang on, and then
Kill.
runs back over, and they catch that. He runs back over to the cork board, and it's the same guy. Oh, it's this guy.
Oh, look at that. What does he say? Sherlock fucking Holmes.
Yeah.
Such great lines. What
the guy who
you
plays
got any other
Kehoe?
scenes? Oh,
Huh?
yeah,
Brian James. He's been in
Yeah.
everything. He's one of those that guy where he has no chin, and he's in this one. His name is Kehoe in this one, and then he's in the sequel to this, another 48 Hours, and he's credited as Ben Kehoe in that one. So he gets a first name in the sequel.
I was watching a couple podcasts about this
you were?
preparation for this, and
I tried not to. I was like,
well, one of the questions that were brought up in one of the podcasts was, does this, and I'll put this to you because I thought it was a really kind of good question.
Shoot.
Does 48 hours ruin Kehoe in this movie because you understand what he turns into in another 48 hours? Which another 48 hours for me, I watched it once and that was good enough. I didn't really like it. I didn't really enjoy it.
Right.
I thought, chubby Eddie Murphy doesn't do it. I mean, it was just a mess, I feel like.
Yeah.
But he brought up that question. I don't know how you feel about it, but do you feel like now that it kind of ruined Kehoe in this movie?
Another 48 Hours left such a dull impression on my mind that I had forgotten about that. So no, to answer your question, no. Kehoe this actor Brian James seems to kind of always play a character like this.
Yeah.
Where he's not likable.
Right.
I can't think of anything that he's
Well,
been
just
in.
kind of benign. He's just in the background. He's like, hey, I forgot your whatever your
somebody called. He's all, why didn't you tell me? Hey, I'm not here to take your personal calls. Just the whole nonchalant police. This is how we do good police investigative work. He doesn't give a shit about anything. He's like a paper pusher. Maybe he's a desk jockey. I don't know.
Well, he probably has his own cases that he's probably, he's been on for a while, and he's just like,
he's not going to help. He's not going to help Cates in any way, shape, or form. That's for sure.
So what other scenes you got in this movie that are?
Yeah,
are
I
your
like
favorites?
that San Quentin. I like Torchy's bar, the police station. We hit those three. Those were the ones that I had in my list. Is there anything that let me ask you this about, because I'm going to go back to San Francisco. Are there any shots in here, any scenes that that you see that you enjoy because of its setting in San Francisco, or is it really neither here nor there for you?
No, there's the beginning scene when he's driving to San Quentin, and like you said, you described it, you see the Richmond Bridge and it pans over and you see San Quentin. But I also love Jack Cates' scene when he's driving down that hill.
Yeah.
That's a great one. But I also love the outdoor scenes when no. Hold on. Let me look at my notes here. The scene in Chinatown when they're kind of shaking down the two women in the apartment.
Yep.
And also, I like Luther's introduction. That's a good scene too.
Yes.
But yeah, nothing to kind of that frames San Francisco. I just love the whole movie that takes place in San Francisco, and I love the fight scene.
Right.
What's up? Yep. I'm too tired to put my hands up.
These
gun
guys,
in my badge are in my car.
They're beat to shit. I like that. Yeah, the car, getting the car out of storage, and they got, okay, wake me up to 6:45. This place opens at 7. Wake me up at 6:45, and which he doesn't do. He had one job, and Cates doesn't wake Reggie up, and that's how Vincent Luther sneaks past him to go get the car. That I appreciated also. This car's been, it's a Carmen Ghia, I want to say, is that what?
Yeah, it's either a Carmen Ghia or it's like a Porsche or something.
Okay, it's a nice car. It's been in storage for 3 years, and it comes out of that parking garage, and It looks like it's been in storage for 3 years. The amount of dust, the layer of dust on it, incredible. They must have
I,
found something that had been in storage for 3 years because it is disgusting. It needs a
I,
bath.
yeah. When I saw that movie, I didn't realize that that was dust until they at the end when it's clean, you know.
Right. He
And then I
washes it
was like,
for him.
"Whoa,
Yeah,
okay,
it's a nice car. It's a nice shade
yeah,
of green. And
yeah."
a lot of more. Oh, here we go. Here's one of those rich man, poor man things. Convertibles. This is a rich man, poor man, where when you think of convertibles, oh, now you've arrived, right? You finally got your convertible. You're going to drive along the coast. These guys both own convertibles in San Francisco. First of all, Burr, he's what do you say? He's all, what is this car you're driving? Cates is giving him a hard time. He's like, yeah, sorry. What is it? Reggie says to him, he's like, yeah, sorry, they didn't have any shitty powder blue Cadillacs when I went to the car store to get one. The car store. They were all out of shitty powder blue Cadillacs. They both driving. I mean, the convertible is an interesting choice,
Yeah.
but I think it's to show them getting along because that's the when you think of this movie, the two of them arguing back and forth in the convertible
Well, I mean,
with the
Jack
big bench
Cates'
seats. It's awesome.
yeah. Well, Jack Cates' car was kind of shabby, old, run down, like he was, and then you have Eddie Murphy with the slick black Porsche.
Yeah.
It's said to be a Porsche 356 Speedster.
Okay, so it's a Porsche
Well,
350. So it's again,
well,
that's
it's
a great
supposed to be, but it's
juxtaposition.
actually an I don't even know how to say that. Messicanica 356 Speedster. It's a replica built by a classic motor carriage. So they probably built a replica of it and just put like basic parts as the engine and everything else. But
Okay.
yeah, it's supposed to be a Porsche 356 Speedster. Wow, that's
That's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice car.
It's a nice car with the trunk in the front.
Yeah.
He's got his pink suit that's in there. He's like, what is that? He's all yeah. Styles changed in the last 3 years. I'm all, that's a lot. Yeah, it's true. 70s, you could get once 1980 hit, can't wear that suit anymore, right?
Yeah. Or else he'll be answering a lot of questions.
Yeah, he's like very much like Huggy Bear. Yeah, you can't pull that suit. You could probably pull it off now. It's been that long where you can pull that suit off now. But yeah, that suit is big.
Yeah. So let's get
what else should we talk? Do we want to have some questions? You want to do a little question and answer?
What you
throw
got
a question
for me,
at
man?
me, and I throw a question at you.
Yeah.
All right.
I already asked you one of mine.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. How about where were my? Let me see. It in your mind, is this the same Luther from the Warriors?
You know, once you put that out there, now I'm like I can't even think about anything else because that's such a good like it's like the MCU. You know, it's like
I mean, it's kind of fun to think that it is.
Yeah.
You know, and Luther, who's he's always got that he's always out of breath and wide eyed and just strung out. I like that. I like that actor is he does that role real well.
Yeah.
Now we should talk about San Francisco as again with the setting, but specifically police shows, cop shows, whether it's movies or whether it's television shows. We had television shows. You had In the Heat of the Night. You had The Streets of San Francisco.
Do you remember the intro to The Streets of San Francisco?
I do. I can't picture it now, but it had a great theme. Oh man, I loved it.
The Streets of San Francisco.
Oh man,
a Quinn Martin production. Tonight's episode, Killer Beware.
Very noir, right?
Yeah.
Like San Francisco, you get that a lot of that. You can get that. You don't get. I mean, LA is kind of known for the noir, right? You get that old kind of 30s, 40s kind of a lot of fedora wearing and. Chinatown comes to mind when you think of kind of that noir. But San Francisco has a lot of those. Where does this rank for you? And when you think of San Francisco police type, and if you want, we can play a game called This or That.
Yeah. Well, let me answer the first question.
Sure, go ahead.
Which is, I think this is top 3 because
nice.
You have Bullet, right? That came out in the early 70s or mid 70s. I can't remember which one. Then you have the Dirty Harry movies, which I don't know if you're a fan of, but I didn't really watch the Dirty Harry movies until probably the late '80s, mid '80s.
Okay.
So, but in terms of taking place kind of stuff, I would say that those 48 Hours, Dirty Harry, and Bullet are the three types of like sudden impact for me was the first Dirty
Mm,
Harry movie I saw.
right.
So I would say sudden impact, this movie, and Bullet. I would really be interested to see how it ranks with you. I mean, do you think this is a top three San Francisco cop thriller movie?
Uh, yeah, it is. It is. Now that, I mean, again, it doesn't hit you over the head. It could
Right.
have been set anywhere. It
Right.
doesn't have to be San Francisco. They didn't use like San Francisco for the police. I think the reason why it was so appealing to film police and action dramas and usually involving the police is because of the amount of hills
Yeah.
give you like with especially with Bullet. I mean, the most famous car chase of all time, and you've got Car Chase Hill, which is Divisadero. You go down that into Van Ness or not Van Ness. You come down into
Oh,
Lombard. You come to it's like 9 drops. That I mean, that's why you do it is because of the just the shocking. And if you've never driven in San Francisco, it's an experience, and people who aren't used to it.
that hill. Yeah.
That hill to Visadero, especially, that's called Car Chase Hill. And there are times where you're driving to go through that 4-way stop. It's called, where did I cut out? That's called Car Chase Hill. You can't
Yeah.
see over the hill until you're already going down it, like the front,
Oh, yeah.
especially back then when you had those cars with the huge front, 8-cylinder engine in the front, and you're driving a boat. You go and people are screaming, like
Yeah.
especially in the back. You
I
can't see where
was.
you're going. You're going off the top of the world. It's crazy.
Well, I think if you go on the other side, you go down into Geary
Mm-hmm.
on the other side of Diviz there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just as daunting. And especially was it Goff or Go? I don't know how to just Goff.
I've always said Goff.
Yeah. So when you go up Goff and then you hit the top
Mhm.
there's at least like I feel like the Visadero doesn't have that top off at the top. It just kind of goes. I could be wrong because I haven't driven it in a long time.
Right.
But
Right.
I know Goff has at least you get up to the top and then it straightens out for a couple blocks and then it goes back down. And then when it goes back down, it's not like this. Like when you're going up, it's more of like this.
Yeah, the backside of that hill.
Yeah,
is
so it's more
sloped
gradual.
as as
Yeah.
you're coming down into the what's that? The Haight? Or
Yeah,
no,
well,
you're coming
from
down
Goff,
into
Gary and yeah, like the what is it? It's that right next to the Fillmore there. It's
it's like the Panhandle.
that neighborhood. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
It's
either.
like it. Yeah. Anyways,
It doesn't
So,
matter.
anyways, yeah.
It doesn't matter. Drop a line in the comments on what that neighborhood is. We could see it on the map, but we're both
Yeah.
spacing out.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so well, I have a question.
Yeah,
for you.
shoot. And then I got a little thing I want to try with you.
Okay. All right. I got a couple here. Is it okay? This one is about the racial tension in this
Yeah.
movie.
Okay.
Is it an honest description of it or depiction, or is it an uncomfortable type of feeling that you get from it? That, I mean, obviously it doesn't age well, but for the time and for the
Mhm.
movie, is it an honest depiction? Do you think?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know if that's an honest depiction. I don't know if this is the way people, if this was really thrown around that much. I know you brought up an interesting thing with you talking about Delirious, about how much homophobia is in that. But at the time, we used to call each other. We played a game where it doesn't have any rules. The person with the ball gets tackled, and the name of the name of the game is Smear the Queer. We
yeah,
used to,
that's
I
right.
mean, we threw these things around all the time. So yeah, it probably is a pretty accurate depiction of how people were just throwing the N-word around. Of course, you say that throw the N-word around. There was a while where that you would get canceled. I don't know if that's necessarily the case in 2026, because now there's people who use the N-word. They set up a GoFundMe and they get $3 million. So
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, dude.
Right.
I don't know anymore. I think it's gotten so blurry that who the hell knows anymore.
Yeah.
I would certainly not a language that I would use. And watching it, I had forgotten that there was this much of it.
Yeah.
the racism. Well, what's up, Tano? You mean fire, water, and all this? I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn, dude, that's fucking 40 seconds into this movie. That's the first line of the movie, and this whole movie is a
I
freaking calling the Native American guy Tonto. Jesus Christ, dude. What?
Yeah. Well, I could be at home giving my girl the high hard one.
Oh,
Instead, I'm out here, you
the high
know.
hard one. Okay, shout out to my buddy Rob. We were roommates, and he used to say that line all the time. Give him the high hard one. I'm like, oh, that's where he got that, man. That's right.
Well, they say it now in baseball. Like Kruk and Kuiper are always like, "Oh, I gave
Sure,
him the high hard one there."
I think of it as a baseball term, but he's using it the way Nick Nolte was using it in this. Yeah, absolutely.
They got the 48 hours and the clock's ticking.
Right. Okay. That's a
Yeah.
good. There's another good one. We got a new edition, season 4. Gonna see my friends. We got a shout out. We're gonna put it in the category. Do they say the title of the movie in the movie? And this
Oh
one,
yeah.
bing, we're off and running. Says it. What did we say? 3 times they say 48 hours in this
Yeah, I
movie.
think it's the beginning. He's like, "All right, you got him for 48 hours."
God,
That was the first one, and then that one in Chinatown when they're walking with his big Jack Cates, his
Yep.
big speech. He drops the N word a couple times. In
oh,
that
a couple
one,
times. Yeah.
and a lot of other euphemism, or not even euphemisms, but what do you call those? Just like racist.
Yeah. It's a slur.
Yeah, so, yeah, that slur. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, I mean, another one is it's kind of personal, but let's see. What age would you show your kid? I know we both don't have kids. But
Nope.
What age would you show your kids this movie?
Show it to them on purpose.
Yeah.
Probably high school age, sometime
Yeah.
in there, freshman, sophomore. If I had a 13, 14-year-old and they were just like, I mean, I don't know that this would be appealing to any, this it's we were there, 10 when it was 10 when I came, so I would have been just definitely too young to see it. But I think that if somebody wanted to go back and watch, really like the Eddie Murphy documentary just came out like a few months back, right? Being Eddie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're getting into it and you watch that and you want to go back and see how the whole thing started, oh, you mean this guy did stuff other than Donkey? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where it started, other than and you should watch it. It's I mean, Rotten Tomatoes, it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, 92%. It's a 6.7 on IMDb, and then the popcorn meter was kind of low. I thought the popcorn meter 69% on the popcorn meter. I thought that was low, but it is 6.9 on IMDb. So I don't know if it gets any more dead on balls accurate than that.
Is that a technical term?
Yeah, it's an industry term.
It's a technical term.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you bring up an interesting question too, because a lot of people, especially in the later generations or the generations lately, just know him from Shrek, and they know him from the Nutty Professor and Norbit and all those, and they don't really know the power that he had in the 80s.
Oh.
And the idea, like I said before, like this idea that this guy was everywhere. He wasn't just an actor. He had like comedy albums. He had a musical career.
Sure did.
And he acted in movies. And, he was a good singer. Like maybe the songs weren't maybe up to par, but he could, he came out about 15 years ago with a reggae song with Snoop Dogg.
That's right.
And so, this is a man of many talents. And I think that it's like you said about you thought the rating would be higher. I did too, and I think that it just goes to show you that I think that the younger generations are really not really privy to the kind of the amount of exposure and power that he had, and I think he kind of burnt out at the end of the 80s and early 90s. He, because I think a lot of the racism that is depicted in this movie, I think it kind of bled into his real life and how he was always fighting for equality or black representation in movies. Right. There was that one, I think it was the 89 Oscars, where he came in and was like, look, man, you got to start, just kind of paraphrasing, but you got to start, we got to start getting black actors into these movies.
Right. That's right. That's what was pre-hashtag Oscars so white. This was the late 80s. He was shining a light on it. It's like,
and
people got one black guy in a movie. That's it.
Yeah.
One.
And, you had people kind of condemning him for that because like what is he doing? You know, he's one of, and you know, he wanted to work with Spike Lee. They wanted to work with each other. That never happened. I would have loved to have seen that collaboration.
He didn't work with Spike Lee.
No,
What Harlem Nights? That's not Spike Lee joint.
no, that's Eddie Murphy.
He did. He wrote, directed. Okay, you're right. And that had everybody. He had Red Fox in that, and Arsenio, and oh man, that movie. If you guys haven't seen Harlem Nights, you gotta watch Harlem Nights.
I haven't seen Life. Yeah, I haven't seen Life. That movie Life with him and Martin Lawrence.
With Martin Lawrence, yeah.
Yeah. I want to see that one.
It got horrible reviews, but I mean, a bad Eddie Murphy movie is still better than, I mean, he's so watchable. I mean, the other movie that he was in with Steve Martin, where he plays the two characters.
Bowfinger
got
that was a
when
great
that movie. It was a huge bomb. Everyone's like, "This is the worst movie of all time." That movie's not the worst movie of all time. That movie's
so
funny. He is so good in that.
I just
he plays
saw
like
that movie.
An over-the-top version of himself, and then the nerdy, like they could have been separated at birth, like twins kind of thing. And the way he plays those two characters, damn, is it good?
Are you willing to cut your hair? I guess I feel more comfortable if someone else did it. But yeah.
Incredible.
That movie.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just saw that movie a couple months ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
God, I love it. The crossing the freeway scene is just, I mean, it's just Eddie Murphy doing physical comedy, and I can't breathe, dude. I'm like, this is, and he's as a character, and you're like, I don't know how they did this.
Yeah.
How he's not getting run over by cars going 70 on the 405. Yeah. It's insane. It's insane. Another shout out in this movie is the band when they go to the band in the nightclub. The second night.
Boys. Yeah. Oh, the second night.
That's the Bus Boys.
Yeah.
That's the Bus Boys. Shout out to the Bus Boys. The Bus Boys were his opening band when he went on his stand-up comedy tour. The Bus Boys were, instead of having a comedian opener, he had a band.
Yeah.
And that's the band from, and he brought the band along. That's great, dude.
Yeah,
again,
he brought
empowering your crew.
Yeah.
This is my very first movie, and I can bring my band with me? Come on.
Well, I think the episode with Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live, he had the Bus Boys on there, and he's on stage singing with them. And,
yes.
And the boys are back
in town.
But then there's that other song before when it's I'm going downtown. Mm-hmm. Here's another question for you.
Shoot.
What other top movie of the 80s had the Bus Boys in it?
Oh, I know this. Damn it. I don't know it. You're going to say it, and I'm going to go, that was the one I was thinking of.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah. We got bopped and dropped into the joint, stepped right in and got down to the point. Those Ghostbusters
I had that
came.
Soundtrack, too. Damn it. Cleaning up the town. That's the Bus Boys. Shout out to the Bus Boys. The Bus Boys come to your house, a fish stop swimming. God. All right, Here we go. Here's one question for you. I think we kind of ask this every time, but could you make it today, or is it now this buddy cop thing? Is it just way too cliche to make it today? And if so, who's starring in it?
Remake or just make
shot for shot remake? 2026 coming out in the summer of 2026. Who you got?
Jeez, it's a tall order. There was one with I think Ryan Coogler or somebody, I can't remember who it was. Damn it. Anyways, they were going to remake this and put Jared Carmichael as the Eddie Murphy role.
Okay.
I don't see
know that is.
But he's a comedian. But I mean,
don't hurt yourself. We'll be right back.
3 days later.
Yeah, no shit.
I would say, gosh darn, what's that one comedian? Damn it. He's really big. He's got the mustache.
Oh, Shane Gillis?
Yeah, Shane Gillis is Nick Nolte.
Okay, good.
And then I would put, well, you need an actor for Nick Nolte because you need to have the Eddie Murphy role, like, not huge, but
okay.
Like, so let me redo that one. I think.
Yeah, back up. Yours was a bit.
God, dude, that's such a great question.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, if I had like an afternoon to think about it, because I have
Sure.
an old man brain.
Yeah, get back
It's
to me.
like,
Put it in the comments.
all right, yeah, I'll put it in the
All right,
comments. But yeah,
here's what I want to do for you.
okay,
We talked about San Francisco movies, San Francisco
yeah,
cop movies. This
yeah,
is a category of San Francisco cop movies. You got to, and just stream of consciousness, spur of the moment. You got to choose which one are you going with? All right, we got
okay.
48 hours or Dirty Harry.
Ooh, 48 hours.
All right, 48 hours or Birdman of Alcatraz.
Ooh, I haven't seen Birdman and Alcatraz, but I'm gonna say probably 48 hours, just because I haven't seen the other one.
48 hours or Vertigo.
Oh, I haven't seen Vertigo in probably 25 years. Dude, what are you doing to me?
I don't know. I hope it hurts you.
I'm gonna go Vertigo.
All right, Vertigo or Sudden Impact.
Sudden Impact I watched that for a whole summer just because it's more nearer to me.
Okay.
Sudden Impact.
Sudden Impact or Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct or The Presidio.
Ooh. Dude.
Mm.
I haven't seen The Presidio in a long time, but I love that movie. I'm gonna say The Presidio.
The Presidio or The Rock. The
Even
Presidio
though The
or
Rock is really good. I love that.
Presidio or Bullet.
Bullet.
Nice. Bullet or A View to a Kill.
I love A View to a Kill. I saw that in the theaters. I watched it many times on VHS just because of Tanya, whatever her name was. But I'm gonna say Bullet.
Bullet over A View to a Kill.
Yeah.
Okay. Bullet or Zodiac.
Ah, gosh, Zodiac is beautiful. I love that movie. I'm gonna say Zodiac.
All right, and the last one, Zodiac or 48 Hours. We come back to the beginning.
Dude, they both have a special place in my heart. I'm gonna say 48 Hours only because that was kind of what got me into San Francisco.
Reigns supreme at the end. It reigns
That's
supreme
awesome,
at the end.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, let's jump into Klay Thompson.
Yep.
Who do you got for the Klay Thompson?
I'm going to take Sonny Landham as Billy Bear. Yeah. Yep. I think he doesn't say a whole lot. Yeah. His presence is a very menacing presence, especially his final fight scene. It gets a little psychotic. Yeah, I liked how he was kind of calm and cool before that, but then he becomes this psychotic at the end. The guy's in some kind of shape too, huh? Sonny Landham is in some kind of shape. So yeah, he's not your leading scorer in this, but do you win the championship without him? You do not. Sonny Landham is my Klay Thompson Award winner. Yours?
All right.
You got to pick another one. Sounds like I might have taken yours.
Yeah, got mine.
He's that good. He might be both of them.
I have to get this guy's name because all I'm referring to him is let's see.
Glad I went first because I had no backup for this one.
Frank McRae, which is the police captain.
Nice. Okay, that's a great one.
Dude, that dude blew up like any scene that guy was in.
Yeah.
You nail this guy and make us all look good.
He's full volume in everything he does.
Dude, a fury is unleashed with this guy.
It sure is.
This guy is like, that's right. I called him a convict.
It's a lot.
Guy. Yeah, Frank McRae. I want to say he was the police captain in Starsky and Hutch, but I don't.
He may be. He looks like a police captain. He looks like he's going to tell you to turn in your piece and shield. And you're on thin ice. He's going to tell you you're on thin ice.
Okay, you got to do things your own way. Fine.
Yeah.
You crack this guy down and make us all look good.
Right. Him and the police captain from Beverly Hills Cop. They're not brothers because they're built completely different. You got one tall, skinny guy, and the other one's not tall and skinny. But they've got that. They're bringing that freaking level, dude. They're at a 9 all the time. They can go to 10. You don't see it. They could go to 10, but they're at a 9 now.
Yeah. They'll lose their job if you go to 10.
Your ass is
they're
about
going
to
jail.
be grass. Yes.
Yeah. He's also the teacher in Red Dawn who gets shot at the beginning.
He is. I'd say they were way off course.
Yeah.
Well, what do we have here, my friends?
Yeah.
as the parachutes are coming down. Well done, dude.
Yeah. So
he's in
yeah.
Red Dawn and Red Dawn, our cinematographer.
He's also on Vacation. He's one of the John Candy. He's one of the guards of John Candy. He made me get down like
that's
a dog.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Mr. Wally, nicely
So-
done, dude. So final thoughts on this. Friends, if you haven't seen it, it's streaming on Paramount Plus, and another 48 Hours is also streaming on Paramount Plus. So you can watch them back to back. It's only an hour, 38 minutes. It's really quick paced. I would say not safe for the children to be in the room, the young ones, because it's bloody. It's bloody. There's a lot of language that's probably inappropriate for the young ones to hear, but it's streaming on Paramount if you want to watch it. It's everybody. You know, you ask the OGs, they go, "Dude, this is the one. Dude, this is where it all began." So that's my final thought. Give it a shot. If not anything, just this is the first time we ever saw Eddie Murphy on the big screen.
Yeah. My final thoughts, man. Let's see. I think there are movies. Let's see what I got in my notes here. There are movies that entertain you. There are movies that define a genre.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie kind of does both. And you see the beginnings of a kind of an artist who is kind of in the process. We see this mastering his art. And it's a very kind of, like you said, it's a kind of a dark, violent movie. But what Eddie Murphy brings to it is the lightness, and it's funny, and he brings a kind of charm and charisma, I guess, to this movie that's you just don't see anywhere else, especially at the beginning of one's career. Maybe you see it at the end, or maybe in the mid parts of their career, but it's very rare to see somebody just explode onto the scene. And just in the 80s, it was hit after hit after hit. Yeah, he had some clunkers, but it was just a hit. The movies that were supposed to be big, Eddie Murphy was in them, and they were big. So you kind of had that thing about him that I get all nostalgic. It's very, I don't know. Kids today just won't understand the magnitude at which he performed at. And
he could do no wrong for us.
Yeah, I mean, it was
perfect for us at the time. It was absolutely exactly what the doctor ordered, man. Right?
It's like yeah, totally. I
absolutely.
think if you took what's the guy? Hey man, what's that guy? The comedian, bald head, David Chappelle. If you took him, but you put an actor in him, and then you put a singer in him, like David Chappelle is great for what he does. He's probably the GOAT for this generation, but he doesn't have the levels of talent that Eddie Murphy had. He was just.
He's always had it. He's always had it. There wasn't he's playing a bit role in something. He's always had it. He could just do it. It's incredible to see. He's just a natural talent. He's a Renaissance man, if you will. I mean, like you said, my girl wants to party all the time. You listen. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny now because of just how it's Rick James is. Rick James wrote, and he just basically
produced it. Yeah,
go sing this in this room over here. The video is exactly that, where he's and Rick James behind the board, and everything he did was absolute gold. So yeah, and it's hard to believe that this is the only, after 50 some podcasts we've done, movies we've covered, only the second Eddie Murphy movie that we've done. We're gonna fix that this year. We're gonna find another good one.
Did we do Beverly Hills Cop? We didn't.
We haven't done Beverly Hills Cop yet. We did Coming to America.
That's right.
2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Which
you have to. Everybody's seen that though. So
yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah, dude, bro.
Thanks for joining me today, Toby. Thanks for the people listening to watching. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe. Please like.
Yeah.
We're trying to get this thing off the ground. We're getting better, and we love what we do. And if you have any questions, or you want to put down in the comments your favorite lines, your favorite scenes, your favorite Eddie Murphy movie, Nick Nolte movie, and Annette O'Toole movie, whatever it is, let's talk about it. So thanks again, and we'll see you again next week for another movie.
Hell yeah.
Until then, see you guys.
Bye, guys.